Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 11 of What If Naruto Was the Forces of Nature. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the other What Ifs over in the other channels. Over on Anime King 2 I post a brand new episode of What If God Like Naruto went to the Marvel Universe. So go ahead, check out that and enjoy guys. And also over in making I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto had chakra tech, so go ahead and enjoy that as well guys. And remember, if you're new, yes, I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King and Making 2 and Making 3. Well, now I have 4 guys, yes, you heard that correctly. 4 channels that I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. Links will be down in the description, so go ahead, check them out, and yeah, enjoy. So without further ado, what is to begin this new episode starts. The intro, guys. So, the last spot we left off, both Naruto and Sasuke were in the ring, as everyone was on the ball of their heel to watch this match, because this was going to be quite the spectacle. As everyone prepared themselves, and the two boys started out slow, just merely exchanging common blows, not really going into anything too intense. As the people were silent, they were also still stunned with the news that Naruto was the son of Minato and Mikaze. The Tishikage was not taking that well, not at all. You can see by the man's face that he was not pleased. However, things started to get more intense as he saw Naruto and Sasuke throwing punches, as they start to really increase themselves, showing that they were far stronger than they let on. As Kurasuke, Yujito, all of them watch, as they realized that the two boys were stronger than they thought. As for Naruto and Sasuke, they start to get into the real acting of things as Sasuke activated his Mangekyou. That came to the shock of the people when they saw Sasuke brought out his Susanoo. Now that they couldn't believe, as the power frightened many of them. This is the power of the legendary Uchiha. Oniki saw a reflection of Madara standing behind Sasuke, and he knew right there and then that the boy needed to die immediately, otherwise he would be the downfall of them all. However, despite being so overpowered with that, the people expected Naruto to run away and run in fear, but he did not. He started to smile even more, causing Sasuke to laugh as Naruto slammed his hand together and performed the Mokidan. No, that was a shock. Naruto created a gigantic golem that was on the same size as Sasuke's Susanoo, maybe even a bit taller, as they clash. The violent outclash leave the people in shock, as they did not believe that any other match would be able to keep up this anticipation and joy that they were feeling right now at the power of the youths of the future. It came down to 2 final clashes as Naruto and Sasuke were back on their feet. The both of them created their signature technique that they seem to be going on now, the Rasengan and the Chidori. Charging forward, the attack caused a massive onslaught of chakra and not to mention dust and debris. When the smoke and dust clear, as the left sleeve of Naruto was burned off, not to mention the burn marks on his arm. However, he was still standing and Sasuke was on the ground. Sasuke was out of chakra. Unlike Naruto, he was not a chakra battery. And here he was now, unable to even move. The proctor jumped down and announced Naruto the winner. Using his Mokidan, Naruto pumped chakra back into Sasuke, hitting him back on his feet. That is when it happened as all hell broke loose. Yujito quickly jumped from where she was as she launched a gigantic ball of blue flames towards them to end their life. That was their mission after all. However, Sasuke flared up his Susanoo and blocked it, as Naruto looked around as he saw the chaos ensuing around the village. As Saya jumped down, Samui tried to stop her. She went after Yujito, but Saya was ruthless as she cut the girl down. As Naruto turned his sights toward Yujito, he warned her. He remembered in the forest at Land of Wave, he warned her. As these nations were coming up against them, Naruto slammed his hands together. As she started to grow in size, activating the power of her Bichu. Yamato jumped down, but it was no need because Naruto Mokidan slammed into her like a tidal wave. She tried to transform, but Naruto grit his teeth as he forced more roots to break from the ground and restrain her. She was promptly restrained as several ninjas wearing black masks appeared. Saya told Naruto that they were with them, as Naruto trusted her, so he allowed them to take Yujito away after sealing off her chakra. That is when they felt the ominous chakra in the distance. Turning, they saw the massive four tails heading for the village. Naruto flashed through handstand and summoned a red dragon, as Jiraiya came down and jumped on the dragon back as he offered his help. As the both of them went down there to stop the four-tailed beast, Kakashi jumped down as he told Naruto and Sasuke to stop Gaara and do not let him transform, as Gaara was running from the village. The Sand Shinobis quickly realized that they were being tricked as Orochimaru was under that disguise. The Raikage, followed by Orochimaru, jumped into the barrier, along with Hiruzen and several of his top envoys. He was prepared for this. Precautions were set up. The Tachikage tried to skewer the dragon from where he was with his particle style, however, he was blocked by a blade of wind as Danzo Shimura was there. Danzo Shimura was on the battlefield. The man who hasn't went to war or really do anything for a long time now was ready. He was gonna defend his home, as everyone came out Might Guy, Kakashi, all of them were moving with a vengeance. Meanwhile, Naruto and Sasuke tracked Gaara down, as Naruto informed about the prospect of the darkness being inside of Gaara. Sasuke was curious to what it was though, if it was even a person. The thing started to laugh as it attacked them. Its power was absolute, even greater than what they could even expect, as the both of them were blown back. The series of attacks left Naruto and Sasuke to a disadvantage, however, both boys were not one to give up. As they got back to their feet, Sasuke raised his hand as he bumped fists with Naruto, as he got ready, but something happened. The markings on Naruto's body started to glow, as Sasuke's body was overtook by Naruto's chakra, pulling the both of them together. A bright flash of light illuminated the entire village. It was like a miniature sun. Without the heat, by the time it was gone though, one person jumped out. He was taller. His hair was black and blonde. His eyes showed off eyes that were not seen for a long while. His face showed off the markings of what seemed to be a sage. This person was none other than Saruto, the combination of Naruto and Sasuke, a fusion of sorts. Gaara was angry, as the darkness had fully taken over. Gaara's mind was basically subdued as he transformed. As Saruto was smiling as he thought that was rather pathetic despite seeing Gaara's state, he slammed his hands together and all hell broke loose as he released his power. The Rinnegan twirled hypnotically as the power from it started to fill the entire village. The people felt it as the enemies felt the place quake, knowing that they might have bit off more than they can chew, as Saruto created a monstrosity, something that was never seen before. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across to the place for yourself, and what do you say? We jump right into this new episode without wasting more time. Remember to go ahead and check out the other what ifs. Links will be down in the description guys, and don't forget to turn on that bell notification to see exactly when I post. So yeah, let's begin this now guys. The Raikage actually stopped fighting after he had punched away one of the envoys, as he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Most of the populace glanced over as well. Once Gaara had transformed, the Shikaku was not what it was supposed to be. The Sand Shinobis had already fled away, as they realized that they were being tricked into this. Temari and Conqueror were still there though. As Conqueror was in a bad shape, Temari was supporting him as she had gotten a distance away, realizing if they stayed too close, this monster that took over their brother would end up killing them, because she was certain that that was not their brother. However, when they saw him rise up, everyone had glanced towards him, feeling the feeling of dread and anguish, as this was a sign that Konoha would be trampled. After all, while Konoha might be powerful, they were facing off against some serious detrimental threats. However, the miniature sun that went off, blinding most people for a few seconds, did not fall short, because after that they felt a surge unlike anything they ever felt before, and now that surge revealed what it was. The thing was tall. It had legs that looked like a fox, claws on the tip of them, as it was really sharp it seems. The body was made out of chakra, but the chakra did not look like chakra at all. It looked like a solid steel, metal, or some other substance. From leg going up, it was fox-like, because of the agility from the legs, being able to jump and swift at any time notice. But from the torso going up, it was humanoid. It had two gigantic arms. Its body was sheathed in a strange, old-day samurai clothing. It seemed to be a mixture between a fox and an old samurai. Its face was the head of a fox, with glaring purple eyes. However, those eyes were not any normal eyes. They were the Rinnegan, as they glow ominously with power. It had 9 gigantic tails behind it. Its body was made up of a brilliant gold, shining brightly. As they couldn't believe what they were seeing. Who had the power to pull something like that off? That was not only the power of the 9 tails, but that was something else as well. The shinobis that knew Naruto wondered if he was one behind this, but what was with the modifications? As he looked towards the beast, the chakra didn't feel like that ominous presence when the 9 tails first arrived in the village. This felt overwhelming, crushing and stifling. It did not feel poisonous and reek of death and hatred. Instead, it kind of felt borderline calm and overpowering, which was strange. Now this is what you call power, said Naruto as he stood, right in the forehead of the thing. A snarl came on Gaara's face. You think this will be enough to stop me, he said. As he held up both of his hands, hundreds, thousands of sand bullets, one of them being the size of a 2-story house, formed around him. As he pushed his hand forward and they all shot. The attack, if it passed Naruto, would have trampled on the forest and may even hit the walls of Konoha. However, the fox reared its head back before it roared. A thunderous roar that blew every single piece of sand out of the air. Electricity and violent water strikes. The rain started to pour from the heavens as the clouds became black, like they were swelled with rain. A furious look came on Gaara's face. As he slammed his hands together, the sand started to compact, before it started to push out and grow even more, becoming even more monstrous. It was then that the humanoid Kyuubi rushed forward as he created a sword. The sword was a brilliant white. The handle was black, made from pure raw chakra. He jumped. Gaara slammed his hands together as sand shot up like a geyser. Coming from the belly of the Shikaku, it blocked the strike. However, not for too long as he started to grit his teeth. No, it can't be, he said. I told you. You're done, said Naruto as he brought the blade down. Gaara shifted to the side, forcing Shikaku to move. The entire right side was sliced off. But at least it was still able to move as it brought his left hand around, slamming into the side of the fox. However, the fox simply grinned, which was a rather scary sight, as he gripped onto the arm and lifted the body of Shikaku up before turning it upside down. It then proceeded to smash it with such force. The place cracked and shook violently. The hand with the sword then came down and stabbed right through the thing's guts. Curse you, Gaara yelled. I won't be defeated like this. I promised myself that I would kill you, Naruto Uzumaki. Fuse or not, I will take the both of you down, he yelled. However, the other hand of the fox came and smashed into his face, pinning him down towards the ground. The mouth of the fox opened as he started to gather chakra at the tip of his mouth into a black, dense ball. The thing was the size of a mansion. It was gigantic. Naruto leaped from the head of the fox as it dissolved, as his hand came down on the ball. Take this, he said as he slammed it right into the face of the Shikaku. Gaara's body had been sucked in at last moment to protect him. Most of the hardening of the sand, a large amount of the chakra speeding up to create a gigantic defense. The attack sent everything sailing. The location of Temari and Conqueror, despite their distance, they found themselves having to hunker down on the ground, otherwise they would be thrown away. Over in the village, everyone had to brace themselves as the shockwave came in. People were blown away that did not brace themselves. Over to the side, Saya stabbed her blade in the ground as she gripped on for dear life. The shockwave was massive. Kurosaki was thrown away as Saya and her were in the middle of trading blows, and her fists were covered in rocks. She slammed against the railing of the participant boot, causing her immense pain as a backlash of that powerful technique washed over Konoha, putting the fear of Kami into many of the enemies that were fighting. The sand had betrayed them, the zone was too weak. Kumo and the stone was the only thing left, and majority of their shinobis were being killed. Konoha was beginning their extermination process. All the civilians were now safe, as the ninjas start to move out with a vengeance. Those guys with white masks that show no signal or insignia on it, they were moving like a demon across the field. They slaughtered. They weren't afraid to throw themselves right into the midst of any attack. It seems like they had no conscious thought about their life. The place was chaotic and problematic, as the three remaining nations taking out the sand because they ran the moment they realized that their Kazakage was, well, tricked. They were tricked. But still, despite that the three nations were being bodied by Konoha, and now this strange monstrous overwhelming chakra was getting higher and higher and higher. It seems there was no limit to it. Many of the resolves of the ninjas start to break, as the four-tailed monkey was also gone. The one-tailed beast was gone. Konoha was dominating the invasion, as they were losing. The other three nations were losing. Meanwhile, Temari slowly picked herself up, as she coughed sand, filling her nose and mouth. Looking around, as she wiped her face, she went over as she had tried to hold on, but the attack was too forceful. Kankuro, she said. Yeah, he said to her. He was definitely in pain. She reached out as she hooked him with her arm, picking him up, placing the arm of his on her shoulder. We have to move, she said, as they slowly start to move. Meanwhile, Gaara was on the ground, lying on his back. There was blood leaking from his forehead and his left arm. He seemed to be in pain, however. Gaara still seemed to not retain any control of his body. The same entity was still inside of him, as he tried to rise. I don't think so. He heard the voice and he looked up. The moment he looked up, a feet slammed into his face, launching him backwards as he crashed on the broken ground. Looking forward, he saw Saruto walking towards him. No, I refuse to lose to you. I don't know what the hell you are, or why you're even here, but I have a good suspicion that you are the thing that I was warned about. So, I'm gonna kill you, said Saruto. Kill me? You think you can end my life? You have had this mistakenly wrong. I am the one that is gonna kill you. I am the one that is gonna bring an end to your name, Naruto Uzumaki. Hide as you must in that fusion of yours, but I will rip you apart with every fiber of my being. I would tell you that I have time to go into your backstory, or ask you why you hate me so much. However, frankly I do not care, said Saruto. All I want for you to do is just to die. He raised his hand. Now, come here. Gaara started screaming in pain. I said, come here. His eyes started to pulse. Gaara screamed as his body started to tremble. No, Gaara said. I won't let you. You can't. As he snapped his head to his side. Help me. The voice that came out was Gaara's as he cried for help. This situation must have been pure anguish. No, you fool. Stay where you are. The other voice came out. No, let me go. I will not let you erase my existence, said Gaara. You fool. If I let you go now, he will kill us. Stop fussing. You're not mother, said Gaara. You were never mother. As Saruto yanked his hand back, his Rinnegan pulsing, suddenly the black mass started to pull from Gaara's back as it came out to the front. Now I got you, he said. Universal pull, as he yanked him forward. The body was pure black. It looked to be around 6'9". Saruto held out his hand as his sword flew from a far distance away as it caught right in his palm. He rushed forward and stabbed it right through the chest of the entity, who roared and screamed in pain. No, he said, as he pinned him to the ground and stepped right on his stomach. "You can't kill me like this. I refuse to die until I'm whole again. I will return. You can't kill me," he yelled. "You know, you talk a lot for a shadow," said Naruto. Now, as he held out his hand, his Rinnegan started to pulse. "You're mine," as he reached down. However, before he could grab him though, he sensed something as he looked. Immediately hundreds of roots exploded out of the earth, trying to skewer Naruto. However, his Rinnegan pulsed as the gravitational force tore them to shreds. However, it was just a distraction as the black mass of entity was yanked underground. Naruto's hand quickly turned into a literal cannon as it split apart. It started to gather chakra. The dense blue chakra gathered to a fine point before he released it. It arced through the ground and ripped apart every single thing in its wake, decimating the land for a long while. Once the explosion died down, Naruto stepped forward. However, there was nothing to be seen. "Damn it," he frowned. It escaped. His hand returned back to normal before he turned towards Gaara. Gaara had a look of pure fright on his face as he started to back away. "No, you're going to erase my existence as well." "No," he said. However, Naruto looked at him with pity. As he stepped forward, Gaara backing away in fear. "You know, today you were used twice. By that thing, and by Orochimaru. That is the only reason why I'm not killing you right now. I don't know what future lie ahead for you. However, I hope you take this and strive to realize, depending on yourself alone won't get you anywhere without people like those." He pointed behind him as Temari and Kankuro could be seen coming over. "You will die soon enough." The words hit Gaara deeper than Naruto thought, but he didn't have time for that as he turned. The two of them looked towards him fearfully. Seeing that he took down Gaara, there wasn't much that, well, they could do to him if he tried to come after them. "Take your brother and go." That was the last thing he said before he shooted off, leaving a small crater where he once was. As Kankuro looked up, Is he flying?" he said. As Temari walked over, carrying Kankuro on her shoulder a bit. "Gaara, you're okay," she said. "Are you okay?" "Yes, I'm fine," said Gaara, as he looked at her. As she had tears in her eyes, tears of joy. I'm sorry, both of you," he said. The words that Naruto told him hit him rather deep. As Kankuro gave him a smile. "Huh. Never heard you say that before. But it's all cool," he said. "Come on, let's get the hell out of here before things get even worse. I don't know what the hell is gonna happen with that guy," he said. "But I feel sorry for the enemies of Konoha." As they helped Gaara up, Gaara had enough chakra to create a sand dune, and they all floated on it. Meanwhile, on top of the roof, the Envoys couldn't see a damn thing because there was a lot of trees inside the barrier. The first guy had grown a lot of trees. That is when they felt a surge of chakra as they snapped their gaze up. It was then that they saw the bright light as it came down. The entire top half of the barrier exploded. "Damn it, Seikon curse! Fix it now," he yelled. All the members of the Sound 4 released the first stage of their curse mark as they pumped their chakra to strengthen the barrier and close it back up. "What the hell just happened?" said Tiyawaya. Shocked by that, something just broke right through it like it was nothing. Just what in the world was that? Inside said barrier, he crash landed, breaking the ground underneath him as he looked around. He could barely feel it, as he could feel the surge of the Raikage. However, what he was looking for was, as Naruto rushed towards the location, there his reason was. Orochimaru had a painful expression in his face. He was able to see the dead god. The Shinigami brought down his weapon, his knife that was, and severed Orochimaru's arms, cutting off the soul. As Naruto looked up towards the dead god, it turned towards him as he could see it fully. He could see it very clearly. It watched him the entire time as its body slowly vanished away. Hiruzen's body dropped on the ground. as Orochimaru screamed in anguish and pain, shouting and yelling as his arms became a purplish blackish color as he dropped them to his side. It was then that Orochimaru finally looked up as he saw the individual standing there. "You," said Naruto, his voice cold and emotionless. "All of you will die here." Orochimaru felt the surge of chakra. The envoys outside watched as the entire thing exploded. They were shocked. The Sound 4 was blown off the roof. Orochimaru's body was knocked away. A violent gravitational force exploded the entire thing, throwing everyone back. Drobo leaped forward as he caught his master, who was in agonizing pain. The only thing that was safe in that onslaught was the body of Hiruzen Sarutobi that was safely protected inside of a wooden box that had formed right over him. Naruto proceeded to slam both of his hands together, his eyes closed, until the chakra around him started to turn into a misty green color right inside of the arena where they had fought. A tree erupted from the center. A tree that was so humongous that it shaded half of Konoha, given the size of the Hidden Leaf village that was beyond. Shocking as the people all stopped. However, what happened next was rather alarming as vines erupted from said tree. Naruto's hands were still clasped together as more chakra started to leak from his body, resulting in said tree releasing thousands of vines. All of the enemy ninjas that were trying to flee were caught. They screamed and thrashed around. As they tried to get away, the Sound 4 was running for their life, Drobo carrying Orochimaru, as hundreds of vines started to chase after them and everyone around them. Panic settled on their face as Seikon quickly went through hand sign. "Rashomon," he said as he summoned a gigantic gate to block the vines, giving them a few seconds, but the vines started to split around it and chase after them. Someone landed right beside the group. As he looked to see that it was Kabuto, he looked towards his master. "Do it, Kabuto," Orochimaru said. Kabuto quickly bit his own finger as he wiped the blood on the seal on Orochimaru's arm, the tattoo, as he flashed through hand sign, summoning jutsu. A snake arrived. "Get us out of here," Orochimaru said. The snake unhooked his jaws and swallowed the group, as it quickly dived underground as the ground was skewered, but it was able to escape. The Raikage entire being was cloaked in lightning as he shot through the village, moving at impressive speed, getting to the wall, as he watched as hundreds of his ninjas were caught in the vines. But they kept on coming. They were endless as they spread throughout the village, going after all the enemies. Lightning release. Black Panther! A panther smashed into a large amount of the vines, allowing the Rui to leap as he ran. "Where is Yujito?" the Raikage said. "She was captured, sir." The Tsuchikage and his people already fled after they realized that the invasion was a failure. Kurosaki was able to escape, but not without a scratch, as Saya had marked her, a mark that she would always remember until her very last days. The remainder of the people that were caught, though, everyone turned their gaze towards the top of the roof, where they saw the chakra just shooting up in the sky. "Now," he said, as he started to pull it. He started to pull. All of the ninjas that were caught up, all of the enemies, their bodies started to slowly wither away as their chakra was being siphoned off. As that chakra was being pulled towards Naruto, as his body was being enriched and being more, however, something happened. As his hands started to feel numb, the next thing he knew, his vision started to blur, and then it happened. As a violent shock happened, just like when they fused, a bright light enveloped the entire place. Two bodies were thrown out of the light as they hit the ground hard. They were both unconscious. The ninjas that were caught up in the vines, they were able to live, however their bodies were already sucked. Majority of the chakra was already gone, allowing the Leaf Ninjas to execute all of them without even a hassle because they couldn't even move. However, it was quicker. After all, Naruto was planning to suck them until they were dry. 4 nations stepped against the Leaf, given that the sand emptied out before majority of them entered in the fight. there was still 4 nations that stepped against Leaf. 2 Jinjurikis, 2 Kages, and a Kage level shinobi, and yet, all of them failed. Granted, a couple of Leaf shinobis had died as well in the process, and the third Kage was killed because of his own means. Konoha still came out on top, showing the might that he possessed, and those 2 boys were a big hand in that. They were rushed towards the hospital as quick as possible. Time skip. A couple of days has passed since the attack on Konoha. Majority of the village was still intact, given that most of the fighting happened in the central area of the arena. Majority of the enemies had entered the village, but once the civilians were safe, the execution process began. Following the Konoha shinobis starting to use lethal force against the enemies. A couple of buildings, more than a couple that is, had been badly burnt, been badly crumbled and destroyed. However, majority of their civilians were not even touched, but they had casualties, a lot of casualties. But given that they were attacked by 4 different nations, it wasn't a surprise that they had so much death on their hands. Otherwise, well, they would have needed a miracle to come out of that completely unscathed. But still, it was less than you believe, despite the attack that befell upon them. As they came out of it alive, well, not everyone, they had to bury the third Hokage. Him and majority of the shinobis that fought and risked their life, they were sent off with peaceful greetings from the shinobis of Konoha, hoping that they could find happiness wherever they were going. At the moment though, slowly, Blue eyes opened up. The first thing he saw was the ceiling, as he could tell that someone was in the room, checking over the monitor, as he felt a little pain. As he groaned a bit, he heard the person move as he shuffled over towards him. "You're awake." As he looked to see that it was a nurse. She had brown hair and brown eyes, as she was smiling at him. No, that was surprising. "I'm happy to see that you're awake, Namikaze-sama," she said. As Naruto raised eyebrows at that, confused by her statement. But she was so cheerful and happy. He tried to get up, but she placed a hand on his shoulder. "Don't push yourself," he said. "You've been through a lot. You deserve your rest." "I'm fine," said Naruto, as he leaned up on the bed. "What's going on? How long have I been out?" "For a couple of days," she said. "But your vitals are fine. You seem to be back to full strength. But your body had been tender when you came in. It seemed to have went through some kind of changes. But it's slowly returning back to normal over the past few days. So you should be fine," she said, as she looked over the clipboard in her hand, as she greeted him with a smile. "What about Sasuke?" said Naruto. "Oh, Uchiha-sama. Well, at first, his chakra was behaving erratically, but we were able to get it to calm down. In fact, he should be here. Wait, he has already been out of the hospital?" "For a day now," she said. "I'll be right back," she said. "I will go and fetch him. He told me to alert him once you were up." "Is that acceptable?" she said. "Yeah," said Naruto, as she made her way off. No, that was strange for him. Usually, they weren't so nice. Yes, they respect his ninja title because of his name, and the popularity that he brought to Konoha because of his strength. But she was being overly nice. That was just weird, Naruto thought to himself. Him and Sasuke somehow fused their blood together. Well, no, not really. It was like Sasuke power was pulled into him, along with his personality and everything else. It wasn't a complete fusion of sorts, because it was not perfect. He didn't know why he knew that, but he could tell that it was not perfect. He pulled away the gown as he looked down toward his chest as he saw the marking was now dull. Before it had been glowing green. He had become a new person. Some of the memories was a bit hazy. Maybe it will take a while for all of it come back to him. That is when the door opened, as Sasuke walked in. "You're finally awake," he said. "Jeez, took you long enough." "Come on, my body needs to rest," said Naruto. "You're just being a baby," Sasuke said, as he walked over. "I'm glad that you're alright," he said to Naruto. "What about you? How are you feeling?" "I've been fine for some time now," Sasuke said. "You felt that thing too, right?" "Yeah," said Naruto. We merged together. Like one. Do you remember everything? Just a few here and there. But I remember the feeling. Did it feel incomplete? Yeah, exactly, said Naruto. Why? I have no idea. How did we even... I don't even know that. I'm gonna have to speak to the dragons. Hey, what's that, said Naruto. Sasuke reached up. Oh yeah, he said. As Naruto noticed there was two tiny line under his eyes. They were similar to the line under Jiraiya's eyes, those red markings. However, the ones under Sasuke's eyes were black. It seemed to curve around a bit. I just woke up with these. After we merged together. I don't know what happened, but they just appeared, Sasuke said. But something strange happened. Worse than that. What do you mean? It's my eyes. They feel different. I don't know how to put it, but they're just different, Sasuke said. What do you mean? Different, said Naruto. A sensation I'm getting. I'm not sure exactly how to explain it, but that's all I can say. I'm gonna have to do some more work on that to find out what is going on. Different in a bad or good way, said Naruto. Well, really good. Especially when I use my Mangekyou. My vision is so much more clearer. I wonder why, said Naruto. Well, this whole new thing is a new territory for the both of us. So I guess we're gonna have to speak to the dragons first before we know anything. Hey, what's that, said Naruto. Glancing behind Sasuke, he saw there was a lot of gift basket and cards. Well, I've been up for one day now, Sasuke said. And there's a lot of people fussing and going on. A lot of people hoping that we're both okay. How do you feel about that, Sasuke said, knowing that Naruto had not really been like when he was younger, so for them to just switch like this after what he did, and after knowing who his parents were, well, he probably won't be that happy. As Naruto's senses were returning, as he was able to feel, there was envoys all over the hospital. As some of them were at the door, making sure that he was fine. Like a protection detail. I don't know, said Naruto. In truth, he didn't know how to feel about that. It was then that you remember. He's dead, is he? Yeah, said Sasuke in a sad tone. As Naruto slowly pulled himself out of the bed, as he landed on his feet, and that damn snake escaped, and the Raikage as well. The Tishikage as well. It's just like what happened in my clan. These people believe that they can just decide the fate of thousands of people to do as they please. I warned that girl. Wait, I stopped her. Where is she? I don't know, said Sasuke. There's a lot going on. A lot of council meetings. I'm pretty sure that you're going to want to speak to the both of us to find out what the hell happened. They should be praising us for what we did. We were a big part of stopping all of the chaos. Not to mention your dragon was able to stop the four-tailed beast from wreaking havoc, although Jiraiya was there as well. As Naruto turned towards the window, he was in his black shorts and a hospital gown. As he released a sigh, as he looked over the village, as he could still see the reckoning of what happened, his mind was just filled with a lot right now. He didn't know how to feel with the people being so nice to him. After a majority of his life, they were, well, real assholes, but now that they knew who his parents were, well, his father that was, and after he saved their life, now they want to praise him. He didn't really like fake people. He despised fake people, but the timing was not right for that. As Naruto looked towards Sasuke, you know where he is, he said. Sasuke nodded. Time skip. As both of them stood there, as Naruto looked down towards the grave of Hiruzen Sarutobi, he was in a black t-shirt, same black pants and sandals. As he reached down, the old man had been generous to him. Frankly, he had been a godfather to him, or grandfather if you want to become a more lineage thing. He looked out for him. Yes, he couldn't always be there to watch over him when he was lonely, but still, he made no attack come his way. He always kept him safe, and despite knowing what he did, when he had protected Ayam from that guy, the old man helped cover it up as well. despite that guy owning majority of the shopping district in Konoha, and he was a part of Konoha financial stock. As Naruto released a sigh, he patted the grave. "Don't you worry," he said. "I'll find them, and I'll make them all pay. I wasn't there to get revenge for what they did to my clan. I know that you always wanted peace, but I've come to learn that this world is not sunshine and rainbows. In order to survive, in order to keep on moving, there must be darkness. And if they want darkness, I'll bring it to them, and I'll slaughter every single one of them. I'll make them pay. The next time their generation and generation after that even think of war, the remembrance of who I am and what I brought upon them, the suffering and the chaos will stop them. These people understand that war is never the answer. They will understand that threatening to erase people and their homes is never the way. I'll hunt them like the dog that they are, and I'll make them suffer, because if I don't, no one as well. I'll put an end to this. You always wanted peace. I'll bring forward peace, but in my own way," said Naruto. "I promise you that." Meanwhile, that was going on at an underground location. The thing that had took over Gaara's body, it was no longer bathed in darkness. There was something wrong. Its features were finally shown. It had pale skin, like extremely pale, ghostly pale. The height was still the same. It had a snuff of white hair on top of its head. It also possessed white eyes that made it seem like it was completely blind, but it was fully able to see. Its whole body didn't look human, but at the same time, it had a humanoid feature, but it looked like some kind of monster. Black Zetsu rose from the ground. As he stood there, "How are you feeling?" he asked. "That kid really messed me up badly. I won't be able to do what I did anytime soon. I was able to push the One Tails to its limit, using up all of his reserve chakra. So the beast will be resting for a long while. I also tap into my own chakra as well, causing me to be in this state right now. I warned you," said Black Zetsu. Going up against Konoha, or especially Naruto Uzumaki, was not a pleasant thing to do. "He needs to die," said Dark as he looked towards Black Zetsu. "Your reasoning for killing him is so potent, but you will end up getting yourself killed in the process. If he's not stopped, sooner or later he will be the downfall of our plans. I can just feel it. He was placed on this earth to stop us from doing what we intend to do, and I can't allow him to do that. Don't you want to see your mother again?" "Of course I do," said Black Zetsu. "That's the whole reason why I'm doing all of this." "Then work with me. Listen to me." "Fine. I still have the Akatsuki, moving as we see fit, but what do you intend to do now?" "Now, or a couple of years, I am afraid I can't really do anything. That sword, it is specially crafted from the dragons. Usually, it would have been lethal. However, I was able to suck enough chakra from the One Tails to use it to push away the negative effects. But that is gone now, but my body is still in pretty bad shape. All I can do now for a while is just observe until the time is ready. However, sooner or later, Naruto Uzumaki must die. Sasuke Uchiha will fall in the process as well. Those boys will be the end of us. I can tell. Find out what happened with them and how did they fuse. Because in their fused state, they possess the eyes that could bring the downfall of us within seconds and the entire Akatsuki. We still have Nagato and Obito. Regardless, Obito is a fool, just a simple pawn, said Dark. His usefulness will soon come to an end. As for Nagato, he believed himself untouchable, a god, and that will be his downfall. That will be the end of him. The power I felt from that fused warrior going by the name Naruto, is far stronger than Nagato's. I could feel it in the depths of his soul, and he hasn't even reached his potential. Think about the process of both Naruto and Sasuke gaining that level of power by themselves. They will be virtually unstoppable. We cannot allow that to happen. The both of them possess the genes that could bring forward that man that we both hate so much. As Black Zetsu clenches fists, "He's the reason why your mother is gone. Do you really want him to be another reincarnation of that man?" "Of course not," said Zetsu. "Well then, it's simple. Use the Akatsuki. They are our biggest bet right now. They're the ones that we need to end them before they get too strong. I believe you should use this incentive of Konoha getting too stronger to make a move. After all the Jinchurikis were captured, the Akatsuki could realize the threats. Now go, make a move before it's too late." Zetsu sunk back down the ground as he was gone, leaving Dark there. As he frowned to himself, he was angry, mortified by his loss. He was prepared, he was ready. Nothing should have stopped him, but yet he still lost. So much power at his fingertips, and yet it was all taken away from him and he was struck down by that boy. However, that will never happen again. He closed his eyes. He needed to focus on gathering back his strength. He was still too weak. Time skip. Naruto stood in front of Leviathan. "And you say that you fused with him?" said Leviathan. "Yes, correct," said Naruto. Have you ever seen that before?" "Well, those markings on you. The prospect of you fusing was always there, but not with another human." "What do you mean?" said Naruto. "In case of a dire situation, the markings will allow us to funnel our power into you. Not by the sage training that I told you, instead, in a different means entirely. We will literally fuse into you, becoming one. However, you will be in charge of the power that is shown through you. And with that power, you'll be able to wipe away any foes that dare to threaten your existence. However, the thought of you merging with Sasuke Uchiha was never a possibility. I never saw this coming." "So how did it even happen?" said Naruto. "The precise deludes me at the moment, but I believe it is a close bond that you will share. However, you said that the fusion was incomplete. You felt the lack in the power despite not knowing how you felt it, right?" "Yeah," said Naruto. "Well, it's quite simple. As strong as young Sasuke is, you are still far stronger than him in comparison. Once you two fused together, your true power was unlocked, and your power eclipsed his. It seems like that fusion also brought out some of your true power. Tell me, do you feel indifferent?" "I do feel stronger," said Naruto. "Well, there is more to come. So because of my strength, Sasuke was not able to keep up," said Naruto. "Yes. However, Sasuke has certain perks that helped you out." "Huh?" said Naruto. "Well, for one thing, he possessed the Sharingan and the Uchiha blood running through his veins. Another part of the sage, mixed with your already blending DNA, brought forward a being that possessed unprecedented power and also those unstoppable eyes." "Do you know how we can do it again?" said Naruto. "Or was this a one-time thing?" "I'm afraid that answer deludes me at the moment. If you do wish to refuse, I'm not sure how you will be able to pull off the process. But we have other matters to attend. The sensation you got when you had felt that being, that existence around you, what did it feel like?" "Hollow. Empty. It's like it was missing a part of itself as well. And you can feel no trace of what it was." "No. It's the first time I'm sensing it. However, it does hate me. Really hate me for some reason. And I'm not sure why. It believes that I will become a threat to its existence. A part of that is true, but there's something else. This thing must be found and stopped. From what you have told me, this is the embodiment of all that will see everything on this earth wither away into darkness. The next time you come across this fiend, you must not hesitate for the slightest. You must eliminate it. Don't worry, said Naruto, I will. On the other hand, we will begin your next step of your training to unlock the remaining power inside of you. How long will this take? I'm not sure. It's depending on how fast you adapt to it. Can I get a rain check on that, said Naruto. There's something at the village I had to do. Sure, said Leviathan. But don't take too long, he said. You must be ready for the trials that are coming up ahead. Do you understand? Yeah, said Naruto. I understand. Time skip. Sasuke stood at Ichiraka Ramen as he was speaking to Ayam. Where did you say he went? He left this morning with Jiraiya. He came to pick him up. They went on some kind of mission together. With the way things are right now, I believe that they're going to find the next Hokage. Who do you think it's gonna be? Ayam said. I'm not sure, said Sasuke. However, it must be someone big. They're going outside the village. But who could it be outside the village that will become our new Hokage? Ayam said. Yeah, that's a bit concerning, Sasuke said. But I'm sure that they will pick someone suitable. Yeah, she said. What about you though? How are you feeling? We haven't talked much since. Well, I'm alright, Sasuke said to her. As he wouldn't tell her that he was feeling a bit strange, but... Well, it wasn't bad strange, but he still didn't understand why these markings appear, and not to mention his eyesight felt different. It felt better, but it felt like there was something there that he was not seeing, something that he was not feeling. They talked for a while until Sasuke disembarked. The more he talked to her, the more he realized that he was feeling something that he should not be feeling. This was no normal friendship. However, he didn't want to impose. She was like a sister to Naruto. And if he ever took a step across that field, what if she, well, reject him? Despite Sasuke having a whole lot of fangirls back in the academy, that they were just that, fangirls. A waste of time that, well, he didn't really give a second thought. He's never once asked a girl out on a date before, or even told a girl that he liked them. But here he was thinking about something that might only be affecting one way. What if she didn't feel the same way at all and he was just overthinking things? That would look pretty embarrassing on his part. And besides, how would Naruto even take the both of them liking each other if she liked him? The possibility was just too much for him to imagine. As he realized that she might not even like him to begin with. She just think of him as a friend. So for now he just kept it to himself. As Sasuke walked, there was many people greeting him, saying hi or hello. Since Naruto woke up and came out of the hospital, so many people call out to him and greet him, with happy wishes, hoping that he was alright. Naruto was keeping himself calm, but Sasuke could see it. He was not exactly liking the false happiness that they were sending his way. After what he's been through when he was younger, something like that cannot just be forgotten that easily. And not to mention Naruto was a peculiar person, and Sasuke knew him well to know that he would not just jump away from that and start to make them believe that it was okay to do what they did to him back then. However, for now, he kept on moving. That is when he noticed something up ahead. Someone jumping from rooftop to rooftop. And to his surprise, it was... what the hell? He could swear that he saw Kakashi being carried by someone. What the hell is going on, he thought. As he followed after them, they head straight towards a hospital. Arriving towards said hospital, Sasuke found Kakashi already unconscious in the bed. What is going on here, he said. What happened to Kakashi, he asked. The Jonins looked at him with a, well, hesitant look on their face, like they were hiding something. Will someone tell me what's going on, Sasuke said to them. Suddenly someone burst in. Is it true that Itachi Uchiha is back in the village and he's after Naruto? The Jonins sigh as they look towards the ninja with glasses. Hearing that name, and after Naruto, Sasuke wastes no time as he shot through the door as he took off at full speed. He was gone within seconds. Meanwhile that was going on, Danzo Shiramura stepped in front of the door. As he looked inside the cell, A modified containment cell with the help of Jiraiya. It was like a zero location for Jinjulikis. The seals in there prevent her from transforming. Lying on the bed, chained down and unconscious, was Yujito. Seals all over her. Inside the next room was the unconscious redhead, Roshi, chained up. The two Jinjulikis from both nations. Everyone had witnessed what happened, so Danzo could not steal them and implant them to who wishes he see fit. Danzo was not pleased though. He was not pleased one bit. He had wanted to take over as the 5th Hokage for the time being until he passed on the position to the person that he believed that is rightful and fit of it. However, they were against him. And Jiraiya nominates Ned to be the Hokage, and the others jump in line. So now they went out to find her. Well, he had 1 month. 1 month to find her. Other than that, they need a leader. They needed someone to start discussions with the Sen. Danzo's mindset was a bit different from all others. He knew that they were tricked by Orochimaru, but still, they raised their weapons against the Leaf. However, he was sure that even Tsunade should understand that Kumo and the Stone cannot get away with this. They're licking their wounds right now, but they deserve much worse for what they did. And this will not just end. Danzo would make sure of that. Even if he had to go behind her back, which he was already planning on doing, he was going to make sure that they suffer for what they pull against Konoha. Meanwhile that was going on, Naruto sat in the hotel. His legs were folded, his eyes were closed as he sat on the bed. As he breathed in and out, calming his nerves. The amount of power he felt while he was fused with Sasuke, it was his true power unlocked, not to mention mixed with Sasuke, but still. He was able to feel so much stronger. Power that he couldn't even imagine. As the dragons were telling him that he has barely scratched the surface of what he could do. That the things that he could do himself would alarm him, but he has yet to reach that potential yet. He has yet to show that true power. Something that he was not pleased about. If he was in there somewhere, he wanted to learn how to bring it out. It was then that the fox felt something. Given that their senses were linked together, someone's coming. 2 of them. One of them has enough chakra as you. An enemy, said Naruto, knowing that the spotlight was on him greatly now. However, given what recently happened, it was hard for them to make a move against him with their loss, and not to mention they were thinking about the future. The Tishikage and Raikage were not stupid enough to go against him after what they did, especially once again the Land of Fire, knowing that he will have backup, and especially with Jiraiya being there, and not to mention Naruto could defend himself, as he could defend himself against some strong Jonins, so it won't be easy for any of them. Not to mention he still had a secondary power to help him with. As Naruto prepared himself as a person knock. Now that was surprising. Knocking? But he wasn't going to make it easy for them. Outside said door, Itachi and Kisame watched his door creeped open. As Naruto came face to face with 2 pair of Sharingan eyes. So that's the kid, huh? Said Kisame as Naruto stepped outside. You're Itachi, said Naruto. You know me. Well then, you should understand that fighting right now will only get you hurt. We need you to come with us, Naruto-kun, said Itachi. No, said Naruto. Huh. A brave one. You know who Itachi is yet. You're just easy able to say no like that, said Kisame. Yeah. I'm not going anywhere with you guys. What do you even want with me, said Naruto. I'm afraid it's not up for discussion, said Itachi. You know, you stand here. You're one of the men I want to kill the most. Itachi looked towards him with narrowed eyes. After all, the hell you put him through. You deserve to die in much gruesome ways possible. But I won't be the one deciding your death. It will be him. Itachi paused. Hello, Sasuke, he said. Glancing behind him, Kisame saw Itachi. Who's that? My little brother, Itachi said as he turned towards Sasuke. Sasuke Mongi the Sharingan was already activated, as Itachi narrowed his eyes at that. However, he kept himself calm. not showing the surprise that he felt on the inside. I see. So you have awakened those eyes. Sasuke said nothing as he just looked at Itachi. Itachi expected him to explode right now, but that was not the case. He was just standing there. It was then that Naruto moved. Kisame turned as he pulled Samihata. He slammed it into the blonde. However, Naruto simply grinned. That is when a sword split right through the wall, infused with wind chakra. Kisame's senses kicked in as he turned, but not fast enough as the blade was longer than he thought, as the thing sliced him across the face. But guys, it'll be inspo right here. If you want to see the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification as they posted. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace, guys.